What's going on, y'all? It's JSmo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. And once again, apologize for the little bit of delay in between uploads. First of all, still getting the apartment together, right? Secondly, I was supposed to have a video out yesterday. It's a little predictions video for a card that ended up not dropping. I don't even know when the card's going to drop. If it drops later today, you're getting 2 videos from me today. If it doesn't drop at all, I recorded it for no reason. But I was supposed to have a video out for you guys yesterday, and I just didn't want to go another day without content. And I know that we're in one of those modes right now where there's not, even with all the events announced, they haven't started going down yet, right? And when you have dead weekends with no new battles, what happens is the drama and the bullshit takes over. That's when it's at its peak, is when we simply don't have battles to talk about, right? And I think people could do a better job of taking this time to promote, even with cards farther out. Like, really, I know Bags of Bodies doing a good job. We're going to talk about it here, because this is going to be like a February summary of just like a litany of topics. Some I usually wouldn't touch on this channel, but just, like I said, some type of content here, and we're going to go over like 3 or 4 different topics that have been happening recently and kind of my thoughts on it. So first one, and the one that I'm kind of the latest to, I was actually a part of the discussion when it happened, was the top performers debate, right? And that started with Jackboy going on Geechee Jazz and EK's Last Second C kind of podcast, right? And they were talking about current top performers, and that kind of got mixed into a conversation about all-time performers once it got to the public. And the big thing was, like, Jack didn't have Hitman or KShine in his top 5 performers, right? And I understand his thought was, like, talking, like, active battle rappers right now. Because obviously when we talk all-time performers, Hitman is number 1 and KShine is number 2. In my opinion, that's, like, I'm pretty definitive about that. I think Twerk is working his way up there. Consistency holding him back in that convo for me. Then you got guys like Surf and Tay-Rock. That's probably the 5 I'd go to. You could talk about like Suge, Miss Hustle. Like, there's other names that are all-time performers, but for me, that's the 5 that sticks. But even in the all-time performers convo, just talking about like what skill set we talked. Jack, he's like, it's not just about the accolades. When you take that away, just talk the skill. Kind of my counterpoint, at least, was the whole, you could just say that for anyone then. It's like, oh, strip away all the proof of success and we'll just talk about, like, what we like, basically. It ended up being a whatever conversation. I know, like, the big take was some people then saying Jackboy would be Hitman, which I think is obviously ridiculous. But I think Jackboy's a good performer in his own right. And honestly, that's the most battle-based discussion that has been happening over these last few weeks. So I actually appreciate that. We got a little talk about the hierarchy of performers. I thought it was good stuff. But I still think Hitman, especially being more active now even than in the last few years, and what he plans to do this year, I still think he's one of the best performers in the world, and he's pretty clearly the best performer of all time, in my opinion. And while we're talking about performers, let's switch gears into KShine. And whatever his event, Power Network, all that, it always had scam on it from day one. It always seemed a bit ridiculous. And I know early on when Shine had kind of like taken this stand, he did Instagram lives, saying like URLs robbing me, this and that. Let's be honest, the climate we're in, and partially greatly earned by URL, and some would argue, where they don't get the benefit of the doubt, right? So people are like, yeah, free KShine, it's wrong, and it's terrible, and it's evil, and they're doing him wrong. And as great as KShine is, this man took like a 5-figure ahead of time payment to do battles that didn't happen, and then he started making up rules along the way with like, oh, well, Daylight and Jackboy, I was just ready, but they weren't ready. So that means I get out of it. No, it doesn't. You made that up. That's just not how it's not the contract you signed. And then it got to the point that even to this day, some people were like, it was fishy what happened with Jackboy. Like, guys, he's got lupus. He got sick. Like, there's nothing fishy about it. It sucks. You think the guy wanted to miss the opportunity. So all stupid, right? He pops out this Power Network, this shoddy horror battle. And then it all looked bad. We've never heard of the Power Network. When you go on the website, I still think that they have the date up for December 31st, 2024. We are in February of 2025. We're about to hit March, actually. I remember the $80, no other announcements for the card, $80 like pre-sale, whatever, or $50 pre-sale. I guess it was going to get bumped up to $80 or something like that. Stupidest thing I've ever seen. And then it got canceled quietly. Like, there's cancellations, but then they just said nothing. We've heard nothing from these sources. And KShine is just reposting Spin the Wheel and Fa Fa Slide. Reposts his music. He probably has no idea what's going on. And I just think this is a cautionary tale that not every battle rapper is meant to go and, like, take that independent, control of their career like that. Some people got to sign contracts and rap, man. It's just, and even the best of the best, like, some are just going to be better off succeeding that way. And this kind of played out how it always was going to play out. because I didn't think Shine, with how kind of he was acting, like had the capabilities to get this done. I think he just really wanted to go on a couple media tours and like be really angry and speak his side of the story to some platforms that mostly gave him zero pushback. He looks silly. It's all silly. And I know that there was some rumors other bloggers were talking about, like the event is fully canceled and they're cutting ties with KShine. I can't speak to that. I'm sure that'll be public and it'll bring the story around one day, or not, because they might just, as quietly as they came in, they'll probably leave just as quietly. But it sucks because I think KShine still has great matchups left in the game. It doesn't change his talent. I think he's a top 2 performer of all time. We've seen him go on all-time runs. He established a legend and top-tier battle rapper. But if I hadn't, and I don't really got, I'm not a battler, what do I know? But if I had like an opinion what I think should happen, guys should go back to URL, man. Even with all the bad blood in the world, and maybe it's too late, but we've seen a lot of people do all this with URL and then come back. It would be a huge win for them to get that return. Shine just needs to go and battle. And if he's going to leave URL, he should have just done the last battle, and then he could have been a part of the big cards that Chrome has. God forbid, an Apollo, a Bags and Bodies, which he had offers for, and he turned all that down because he had this great Power Network deal that seemingly is just gone with the wind. It's silly. We're going to laugh at it for all of time because it was so predictable to see it was going to go this way. But even with all the silliness and laughs and lack of accountability by KShine, I still want to see him battle again. I know everybody wants to see him battle again. I think it'd be good to go back to URL, but whatever works out for him, I hope he didn't put himself in more debt and a sillier situation in life, because at the end of the day, we just want to see the guy rap, right? Then to pivot from there, Bags and Bodies versus The Riot is coming up, right? Speaking of Bags and Bodies, Intruders 2, which I did my predictions on. You can go check that out if you'd like. I think that'll be the first like streamed event of these run of events. I know URL's got some battles this weekend, and then Torque versus Slade is the headliner. That'll probably drop just a couple days after on the app, but March 1st, YouTube. That's going to be like the first one really kicking off the March and April run, right? So Bags and Bodies went over to Champion, kind of all with the Bags and Bodies hoodies together. They were talking themselves up. They were talking down to the Riot, promoing as you should. But the Rookie of the Year convo came up, right? I think Capo shouted out Dalo like Rookie of the Year. Personally, I never did a video on it, but in 2024, Rookie of the Year for me would be between King and Dala. I pretty confidently have King winning that. He would be mine, but we'll see, who gets voted on the panel. It's a fan-voted thing on the Cody panel, right? So we'll see whoever the people kind of decide is Rookie of the Year. But King and Dala are like, that's the conversation, right? Yogi the God, who was also Bags and Bodies member, right? He was up there. You could see he was bothered by it at first, and then he was like, nah, I can't let that go. I'm the Rookie of the Year, right? And I catch everything on Twitter for the most part, especially when battlers like make these big claims, whether I agree or don't agree. Sometimes I get to laugh at them. And he was like, one day he made his header like Rookie of the Year, and he's like, I'm the Rookie of the Year. Like, I can't believe y'all sleeping on me. I'm by far. There's no argument. And I love a good there's no argument for like a self-proclaimed case. Like, no one else is putting you in there but yourself, but it's not even debatable. Which I'm not even the most mad at. You should have like almost delusion level confidence in battle rap to be great. A lot of our best battle rappers did. Not that it's a must, but I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. But it's about time and place, right? You're there with your team. It's team versus team, right? You're yelling at your teammates. Not even promoing at the other guys. You are now causing an argument within the team about Rookie of the Year. And you could have said healthily, like, yo, shout out to Dala. He's been killing it too. Personally, I think I'm Rookie of the Year. You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show the killers we have. Boom. You've uplifted yourself. You've shown that confidence without going, like, doubting your teammate and also bigging up the team. Could have saved so much time. What did it turn into? 15 minutes. Of even after the interview, them yelling within the team, like he's personally offended, like, nah, I'm Rookie of the Year. And I think it's a slight to me if you don't say I am, because nobody could argue against me. And it's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? This is not the time and the place on camera. It's probably a silly argument behind the scenes anyways, but you could do that. You can't tell a man how to feel, but do that not when you're promoting against someone else. How are you... You done talked more shit about a teammate than you did the other guys that you're about to battle. That's nonsense, and it's just a time and place type of thing. It was a funny look for those of you that get to see it. Go over to Jay Black's channel. I thought it was only like 14, 15 minutes. You'll either have like a very like, wow, why did he do that? Or kind of like me, you'll laugh at it and just be like, what are you doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? So just thought that was funny, and it's a good example of like, time and place. And also for me to say, I think it's between King or Dollar Bill, right? I don't even think Yogi's in that conversation. All due respect to him. He definitely had some good work on the lower circuits. But you got to read read the room a little bit, and then that leads to the last kind of talk here, a little bit about spaces, right? I never get into this, and that's because first of all, I was there when Spaces kind of first went around, when Bum Nitty created it. It was just 100 to 200 fans. This is before the battlers, before Surf, even Mike Pierre, Bill Collector. Those were some of the first battlers to come hang out in the Spaces. It was just a fan community of like 100 to 200 people. And we did like predictions, talked history, and I still pop into Spaces here and there. You guys will catch me in there when it's like battle rap related stuff. If it's like a recap, if it's a convo about some predictions coming up and someone wants me to talk about a card, wants my opinion, historically, like the performers convo, I like battle rap. So when it's battle talk, I go in there. The big thing, which I'm sure a lot of you will share the sentiment, is like the ridiculousness that comes out of it. And I got love for definitely some of they would say the Spaces people, right? DeBoss, we talk battle rap often. I got a lot of respect for her perspective. Tati as well has been there since kind of the start of Spaces. And they get more dramatic than I would like in there, right? Like the pause chick that's in there talking like that, I need none of that. But if I had to give some advice, because I know some people like death to it and this and that, and I definitely see as time has went on, it's definitely breeded a lot of negativity. I'm not blind by any means, but I'd say just for me personally, when I see that, I don't go. Because that's not for me. That doesn't serve me. I don't agree with some of the voices that are given. And like they had King Bao in there speaking. Love those ladies. What the fuck is going on? Why is King Bao being given a voice again? It's stuff like that where anyone is just allowed to say anything. And that's why you can't stop all these things around the world. So for me, I just cut myself off from it when it's happening. I'd say it's definitely taken a more negative. It's really taken over the media landscape. Like, there's pages that just repost Spaces and get thousands of views. So it's not going anywhere, but I wish it was more battle rap related on a day-to-day basis. And it's not that they don't talk that in there at all, but people are always going to flock to the drama. So even if you did 50 and 50, the bad 50 is going to get more press. And I hate that. But that's just where we're at, and I can't talk about the whole what drama's doing to battle rap because that's its whole own video, and it's an endless cycle that there's really no solution to because it's just what people want to hear right now, and I hate it. That's why this channel is all battles. But my quick opinion, you know what I'm saying, on the current state of it, because there's so much Spaces talk, is listen, I still go in there when I want to talk battle rap. When bullshit is going on, I don't give air to the fire. I know that that's going to fall on deaf ears. I wish more people could do that. I definitely don't agree with all the actions that are taken in there. But when it serves me, it's time to talk battle rap. I still think it's a useful tool, and especially if it's not going to go anywhere, I hope that we could just keep using it as a more useful tool. You know, the promo that could go on in there, general discussions about battlers and kind of ranks of battlers. Even if you disagree or hate the opinions, that's good conversation. That's good talk. But I noticed that's really what the last week or two has been, because when we don't have events, we talk about dumb shit, which is why I'm seeing everyone from top tier battle rappers to fans to mid tier. All I'm seeing is like Spaces opinions, but yet everybody still ends up in there at the end of the day. It's just kind of a mess. And go when you want to go, when it serves something, when you think it's hurting the culture, stop feeding into it. And that's kind of my general take on it. That's all, man. Like I said, just kind of February summary. I'm sure that we're going to have, like I said, we're going to have wraps before the end of the month here. So we're going to get back to regularly scheduled programming soon. But this is kind of like the half drama, half battle rap related topics that I've seen. Like I said, I just wanted to give you guys some content. Please leave some comments below on any of it. If you want to joke around a little bit about whatever the hell that KShine Power Network event has turned into, any opinions on the top performers. I know I missed that one by about a week, but if you want to leave any comments on who you think are the top active performers or all-time performers, maybe someone you think has slept on in the conversation, leave a comment. The Bags and Bodies Yoshi thing, and I really don't want to have like a long dialogue about the Spaces stuff, but I know a lot of people have passionate opinions. So if you have a take on what the Spaces has done for the better or the worse, leave the comment down below. I might reply to it if I feel like, it's insightful in a sense, right? But like I said, there'll be predictions. We're definitely doing predictions recaps a lot with all these events coming up. I've already done a pretty good amount of the predictions, but definitely the recaps. And a couple more series. We're going to get back in the swing of things over here, man. I definitely want to, but last week or two, the drama takes over. I kind of chill back. I've been busy myself, but it's been JSmo Reviews again here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.